welcome back to What If. We are starting the beginning of a new Naruto What If, and I'll be honest, I'm a little torn. I have another image for this one, but I don't know, it's very hard to kind of make a thumbnail for this type of What If. So, obviously you've read the title. This came to us, by the way, from Shimazu Uchiha in Queen of Africa, USA. I was amazed more than one person gave me this suggestion. What if Naruto had swift release? Now, obviously, we have to establish what swift release is. Swift release is a Kekkei Genkai that showed up in the third Naruto Shippuden movie, I believe it was, The Will of Fire. And essentially, it was owned by a character known as Hiroku. Or I might be mispronouncing it, but in essence, he had an ability that allowed him to steal Kekkei Genkais. And the whole plot was Kakashi, I believe he knew Kakashi, and that Kakashi was basically going there to give his Sharingan, but there was a booby trap, and Naruto wasn't aware of this. Anyway, so one of the Kekkei Genkai this character stole was a Kekkei Genkai called Swift Release. And in essence, all it is that the user can move with incredible speed, becoming nothing more than a blur in motion. And therefore, taijutsu becomes very ineffective if the opponent is not fast enough to catch the user. Now, the thing about this, though, is it is described as a nature transformation Kekkei Genkai, which means this uses two elements of chakra, and it's never said what the elements of chakra actually are. There's all we know is it's a non Konoha Kekkei Genkai. So the question obviously is what, and so now you know why it's hard. I think the image I found was just the character disappearing quickly and beating the crap out of Sakura, which is fine, but it doesn't make for a good thumbnail. So I had to do Naruto running, or let me know, and I'll change up the thumbnail. I have an image of Naruto blurring in his Kyuubi form, his Kurama Chakra form, against the Raikage when him and the Kage clashed. I'm thinking I was going to maybe consider using that because it definitely is a better interpretation of speed. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you'd prefer that one. I'll do, Wednesday, maybe what I'll do is do the thumbnail with this and the thumbnail with that, and I'll let you guys decide which thumbnail you prefer. But until then, the first thing we have to figure out is what elements go into Swift Release. And we know that other two elements can form more than one type of chakra. For example, we know that mud release exists in the Naruto world, and it's obviously a combination of water and earth. But water and earth also make wood release. So if we say two chakra elements form this form Swift Release, but also form another release, it doesn't contradict the idea that can still form another one. So the question then becomes, what do I think are the two elements that form Swift Release? For my money, I'm guessing it's a combination of lightning and wind. Wind and lightning seem to be depicted as the two quickest elements to use, particularly lightning. But earth is a very slow element. Water can be fast, but it's a bit more dependent on existing sources than it is. In fact, it and earth are the two elements that are probably the slowest to react because they require existing elements. You can form earth without it, but it's easier to do fire, wind, and lightning jutsu just with your chakra than it is water and earth. Fire spreads fast, but in terms of sheer speed, it doesn't strike me as one that is extremely fast. But wind and lightning, respectively, both seem to have a lot of speed to them. So, and the fact that Naruto has wind release already, we know he's a wind chakra user, would make sense and lean itself towards wind being one of the two chakra natures. And because lightning is probably the fastest, it lends itself that that's probably the combination. So without further ado, how do we find out Naruto has Swift Release? Well, I always kind of imagine it comes from, the villagers not liking him, probably chasing him down at one point. And after a while, Naruto would discover that he's just very naturally fast, that no one seems, at least none of the non-shinobi individuals seem to be able to catch him or run him down. And even Chunin had difficulty with this little Naruto catching him at points. Eventually, the third Kokage takes notice of this, and after one incident where Naruto is barely able to escape some villagers, and some of them probably had some shinobi in there, an Anbu shows up and is able to not. And I could see it being Kakashi because we know Kakashi was an Anbu and probably did look after Naruto at points. He says the third Hokage wants to see him, and the third Hokage talks about how, he looks at Naruto. All right, I'm fine. Those guys are never going to really be able to catch me. I say, I can see that. You definitely seem to be it. You're definitely just as fast as ever. That's, in fact, and that's something I want to talk to you about, Naruto. I've been thinking about something, and it has come to my realization about you. What? You possess an ability, Naruto. While your parents were not the most powerful, and he has to tell a lie, powerful shinobi, or not, maybe not the most powerful, most well-known shinobi. It is what we do know about them is that they did possess an ability, and honestly, it could make sense that one of the reasons Minato was so fast naturally was the swift release, at least in this version. So he explains to Naruto how his father had an ability, had a Kekkei a bloodline trait called swift release. It was a combination of wind and lightning chakra and allowed him to move at extreme speeds. And while you don't seem to be aware of it, you have been unconsciously tapping into it day in, day out. It's like, whoa, am I awesome? I must be awesome then. Keep in mind, Naruto, that any ability you have is not simply, you aren't powerful simply because of the ability. You're powerful because of how you use the ability. You'll have to grow and train with it, Naruto. But in time, I'm sure you will be able to come. In time, I'm sure you'll be able to reach a full amount of potential with it. It's like, I promise, old man. Naruto, while keeping your abilities a secret is fine. Fine. I would not go bragging. Would not necessarily go bragging about it. It's like, yeah, sure, no problem, old man. And so Naruto decides now to practice the best he can with the tools he has. Unfortunately, the third can't really lend him much in the way of help, as he didn't do it in the original. I can't see him doing it here, apart from the fact that, yeah, Naruto's got a Kekkei Genkai. Yeah, he also had the fox in him. So if you can't help him with the fox, I don't see a Kekkei Genkai being much different. Unless, for instance, it was like the wood release, which eventually we'll do that one. That'd be like the one difference. That's the first. Okay, that's Sensei's jutsu. Okay, I'm gonna get Yamato here, and he's actually gonna train you a little bit. That might be the one exception, because most Kekkei Genkai videos we would do in Naruto don't exist within the Leaf. So there's really not much you can do to help train him, apart from maybe have Guy train him in terms of because Guy's probably one of the few people who could keep up with a swift release user. Anywho, so the next couple of years pass leading into the academy, and Naruto has been practicing, in the training grounds when he can, practicing with his taijutsu as best he can. Naruto was never bad at that, by the way. It's actually stated he was passable, definitely. But with the swift release, he actually is now trying out new styles, coming in quick succession, maybe just boom, getting guys down, even dragging people around a little bit. When we get to some Kyuubi moments, that could become a very fun scene. But he's been practicing with swift release. He does actually end up taking those bullies out that bother Hinata pretty easily. When they try to attack him, he just gut shots them. Just stupid Kyuubi, get out of here. And him and Hinata are actually able to, have a legitimate moment. She thanks them and say, "Hey, it's no problem. They had no right to bully you. I mean, why were they bullying you?" And I can't remember why they were. Was it because of her eyes, or was it because she was timid, a girl, a Hyuga? I can't remember. I want to say it was her eyes. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, and I'll retcon this moment. But what? They're making fun of your eyes? Oh, that's weird. I like your eyes. I think your eyes are pretty. And she blushes. Stay away from Kokums. It's okay. But he helped me. Either way, and the Ko, I think, at least turns away from Naruto, turns to Naruto, says at least thanks him for helping her. And he's surprised. Most people just ignore him, but this guy actually gave him "You're welcome. It was my pleasure. All right, bye. I'll see you around, Hinata." And she brushes, and so the crush begins. But yeah, Naruto spends most of his time practicing with his taijutsu, and not much in the academy would change with this. He'd probably actually be the best in terms of taijutsu, though. No one, not Hinata, not even Sasuke could touch him. Sasuke might be able to react because of his Uchiha reflexes, and Hinata's Byakugan could allow her maybe to see the movements and perceive them a little better. But the fact is that with Naruto practicing and really just trying to get as best good as he could, it would take someone at least high tuning to keep up with him, if not maybe a low joning. Because the swift release, even with because Sakura we know was a solid level tuning, and in the movie that guy just completely blitzed her ass. To be fair, her style of fighting is pretty slow, but still. And so it's not because it's not about how fast you move per se when fighting a person with swift release. It's about how fast you can react. So someone like Sasuke with his Sharingan or Kakashi, that's one thing. But or Mike Guy or Lee or Neji. But yeah, anyone in the academy with Naruto practicing nonstop, yeah, it would easily take someone of like a high tuning, low joning level tier to keep up with him. And so one of the things that this does instill is a solid rivalry with Sasuke. Like Sasuke has almost never beaten Naruto in taijutsu. In fact, almost no one in the class has done it. I can see Sasuke being the only one through just reaction, being the one to actually, be able to contend with Naruto for a while. And I did just think of this off the top. I wrote down all this stuff, but every once in a while something occurs to me. Honestly, we know from the incident at the Uchiha clan that Sasuke most likely actually activated his Sharingan then and there. It would make sense through trauma and how it would not have activated then too. He just didn't know it and suppressed it at the time, and it wasn't until his fight with Haku where he was having to really try to keep up with the movements that he reactivated it. Naruto is probably as fast as and is at near Haku's speeds. Repeated fights and him keeping up. Honestly, there's nothing to say Sasuke couldn't activate his Sharingan here. Again, let me just be very certain about when Sasuke activated his Sharingan. I really want to be clear on that. Just because because it's shown in the anime but not in the manga. That's the problem. When did Sasuke awaken his Sharingan? Here we go. He awakened his Sharingan the first time with his brother. However, the experience was traumatic. He passed out and thought it was a dream. He did not demonstrate. I was okay. It is in the manga. He did do it in the manga. This changes a lot. Actually, I would actually maybe have to rewrite this, but I'll do it off the top of my head and then remember it from here on. I've always forgotten that was the case. I always forget that he did activate it. So this would actually be a perfect scenario for Sasuke to reactivate his Sharingan for the first time. Because Naruto's speed would be something that initially he would not be able to keep up with. But when he eventually, at one point in class, with them fighting, he actually catches Naruto. And this might be the first time he beats Naruto. It's like, I can see, he can barely react to him, but he can see him. And everyone's astounded and realize, Sasuke, your eyes. Like, my eyes? It's like, what? And Naruto's on the ground. It's like, what? It's like, whoa, what's with your eyes? Like, is this... And just see it looks into like a mirror or something that someone has. Like, it's his Sharingan. It's like, I activated it? But how? I can't believe it. Like, I activated it. Whoa, you actually managed. And Naruto, who's been beating him most of the time, is the thing he's been able to really lord over the class. And, really hold himself high and that he was the best at taijutsu thanks to his ability. He's like, I imagine he's a little astounded and feels a little like, and I can see like people say, ha! Sasuke's the best. I knew he'd eventually beat you, Naruto. Because I could see them really honestly getting on Naruto's case every time he beats Sasuke. Sasuke liked it though. It really helped him improve. And I was like, whoa, and then Naruto, because he wants to be friends with Sasuke, actually says, you finally beat me this time, Sasuke. Wow. Oh, man. In those eyes, whoa. I can't, I guess now that you have those, I'm just going to have to train even harder. Because he actually holds out his hand. Like, even though he gets annoyed at Sasuke, he likes the fact that he's got a rival. He holds out his hand, and Sasuke actually does take his hand. He's like, I guess I owe you a thanks too, Naruto, because you have been able to activate these. And you're not the only one who's going to be training. And now the rivalry is actually in full force now. Like, they actually need to challenge each other. And while Naruto, because of his sheer speed and practicing and pushing his speed harder and harder, is still able to get the majority of the wins on Sasuke, Sasuke is actually able to get more and more wins on Naruto, to the point where by the end of the academy years, Naruto's barely got an edge over him in terms of that. Although, maybe not barely, because it's kind of like with Lee. If you can't react to it, it doesn't matter. So that means Sasuke probably has both two tomai in both of his eyes at that point. And Naruto probably is moving not quite at Lee speeds, but definitely enough that it would take a Jonin to keep up with him. And then comes the graduation day. And unfortunately, Naruto still doesn't pass. And Sasuke, admittedly, is bummed. Like, his rival is stuck in the academy. Unfortunately, Sakura still has the need, because I think she has respect for Naruto's ability. She doesn't quite see him as a loser, and he's not the dead last. He's dead last academically. He's not the dead last physically here. But she's, again, I don't see much changing that fangirl mentality they all have. So they're they maybe dunk on him a little bit, but really he was just depressed and still hanging out by the swings. Mizuki shows up, persuades him to steal the scroll. Now, would Naruto still try to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu? Yeah, I see him still trying to learn it. And he still manages to do it. And because that's what Mizuki told him. Anyone who learns the jutsu out of this scroll can then graduate. Where'd you learn that? Mizuki Sensei told me. And then he comes in, and Iruka saves him, gets blasted by some kunai and shuriken. And Mizuki even curses like, that kid's definitely on the fast side. A sneak attack would have been perfect, Iruka. But why? Why did you try to save him? Naruto, give me the scroll. Give me the scroll. No, don't listen to Naruto. He tricked you. He wanted to use you to get the scroll. Oh, I'll tell you who's lying. And then he reveals he's got the nine-tailed fox in him. And so Naruto hightails it out of there. And unfortunately for Mizuki, Naruto can easily evade him. He's much faster than Mizuki. Mizuki is maybe like a mid-tier Chunin at best. Despite the fact he came off as a powerful threat, he's actually pretty low tier when you look at him. And so Naruto's like, oh, bring it on, fool. I'll bring it back to you 1,000-fold. And he does the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Probably rushes a little with Swift Release, but that much chakra is going to be very taxing for Naruto. And so you graduate. Yeah, Iruka-sensei! And so not much else happens. He blitzes Ebisu pretty quick. The Konohamaru thing happens without a hitch. There's nothing to talk about really with that. Ultimately, what happens here is not a lot changes with the whole thing in the academy up until, you get the team selection. I also think Naruto is a lot more not courteous. He's a lot more friendly with Hinata. He actually sees her. He remembers Hinata, and these are at least as an acquaintance. So he says hi to Hinata and all that. Nothing serious. Yeah, you'd still get the Sakura and Ino just trying to push Naruto out of his seat issue, which, God, that was... Those characters were not likable back then. I don't see him, though, getting in Sasuke's face, because he knows Sasuke has the Sharingan. He's heard at least a little bit about the Uchiha now, thanks to that. And so he at least... Because he was staring down at Sasuke. He's like, what's the big deal with this guy? Because he didn't like Sasuke. And while he's not friends, per se... He and Sasuke do have a respect with each other here. So he doesn't get in Sasuke's face, so the forced kiss doesn't happen. And then the teams are called. And it's still Team 7. Nothing changes with that. Would Naruto say anything in this case? No, actually, because he does, in this version, he does value Sasuke, even though he's still very much Naruto. He still values Sasuke as a training opponent. So the fact they get to be on the same team just means they both get to train to each other and keep using each other for improvement. Sasuke feels the same way about this. Sakura, though, just like, I'm doomed. And Naruto still crushes on Sakura. So it's like, yeah. And it's like, huh. And Naruto's like, huh. It's for Naruto, it's like a win-win. For Sasuke, it's a win-lose. And for Sakura, it's a win-lose. Ultimately, they go have lunch. Now, how does this work? I didn't actually consider this part of the what if. I just considered the basic parts of it, but this wouldn't go the same way as it did originally. Because I still don't think Sasuke really wants to eat lunch with them. He'd rather eat lunch with Naruto. At least him and Naruto can get along and bond over ninja training, whereas Sakura he just doesn't care about at all. And I don't see Naruto wanting to just jump Sasuke. There's no reason for it. He's got enough respect for Sasuke that he's not going to just try to creep on Sakura a little bit. Like, I mean, look, Naruto might have been like the most least douchey of them, but even he did some creeper stuff. But yes, Sakura still, I think, just disses Naruto. And Naruto, you're annoying. It's like, Sasuke, where are you? It's like, okay, fine. And so Naruto just eats lunch by himself. And you don't get the whole Sakura realizing she's been rude to Naruto thing in this, which is gonna kind of hurt her in the butt when it comes to character growth a little bit. And Sasuke is just doing his own thing. Again, there's mutual respect between Naruto and Sasuke, so they had no issue with each other. But with Sakura, there's going to be definitely some heads butting between the three of them. Ultimately, this leads us into the Kakashi thing, where he still sets up the prank. It goes off without a hitch. They go. It's like, okay, tell me about yourself. You know, your name, what you like, what you dislike, dreams for the future, that kind of thing. And the only thing that probably would change with that is Naruto to also mention he likes training with his Keke Genkai. And when he says that, everyone kind of looks at him. Like, Kakashi knows about it because he knows about the third, or knows what the third said, and he's probably witnessed it once or twice. Sakura and Sasuke, though, actually didn't know that's what Naruto was using. They just assumed he was just really fast somehow. But yeah, because no one ever really stopped to bother and ask him. Like, Sasuke is just too aloof to ask, and everyone else aside from Hinata was just kind of annoyed with him, or Shikamaru or Choji were just kind of annoyed with him, so they never really bothered. But yeah, it's like, wait, you have that's what it's about? Oh yeah, apparently I have this Keke called Swift Release, and it allows me to move super fast. I really been practicing hard with it. It's like, huh. It's like, and Sasuke actually, like, listen, so he has a bloodline trait. That explains it, huh? And he asked Sasuke. And Sasuke admittedly maybe isn't as harsh about it. I hate a lot of things. I don't particularly like much, although I will say I enjoy trying to grow my Sharingan. And then he still goes that I will, what I hope for is not a dream, because I will make it reality. I will restore my clan and kill a certain someone. Sasuke is so hot! Like, oh god. And so Kakashi issues the ultimatum, but, by the way, don't eat breakfast or you'll puke. And so the day comes for the belt test. And it starts off pretty much the same. Admittedly, Naruto decides not to use Swift. He's blinded a little bit by anger when he calls him dead last. So he comes in just running. And again, Kakashi just, don't get ahead of yourself. I didn't say start yet. But you came at me with a full intent to kill me. So, how do I say this? I think I'm starting to like you guys. Ready? And go! And so they hide. And nothing changes about Naruto here, where he goes full on right after him. Sasuke is trying to follow with his Sharingan, and he can follow Naruto, but even Naruto is now going full like blitz on Kakashi, so he can't necessarily follow. Even he's wondering, like, would I actually be able to catch up with him? And Kakashi admittedly doesn't take the book out for Naruto here, because he has seen how fast Naruto is and knows he's probably only gotten faster since the last time he saw it, and been training. So he actually has to take Naruto seriously, at least as seriously as he did Sasuke. And Naruto rushes in and nearly, just barely grabs the bell. And Kakashi's, it's like, nope. And then Naruto's coming in, Swift Release. And Kakashi, being a high level Jonin, is able to keep up with this version of Naruto. But he is taking him legitimate. Like, he is legitimately taking him seriously because he knows he can't let up on Naruto. So they're actually going toe-to-toe for a bit. Unfortunately, Naruto's stomach, he kicks Naruto in the water. Naruto's stomach grumbles. It's like, I will get that belt. Believe me. I will be Hokage. Well, you'll have to do better than that. For example, water style, water prison jutsu. And then, well, actually, I don't know if we knew that prior to Zabuza, but probably. If not, Kakashi was like, well, now you're not going to be going anywhere, Naruto. It's like, are you sure? And he turns into a shadow. That's right. It's like, so it's true. You can't create shadow. It's a forbidden technique. And he defeated Mizuki with it. And then all of a sudden the shadow clones come in. And And combined with that Keke Genkai of his, this could be problematic. And then, sure enough, Naruto Uzumaki's secret jutsu, Shadow Clone Blitzkrieg! And then basically he's kind of doing a pseudo version of what Minato did. But the difference is he just had the seal, so he can literally just teleport instantaneously. Here, it's just a freaking Spleed Blitz. And Kakashi's doing the best he can. It's like crap. And he basically almost gets caught, but as it turns out, it is a Naruto clone. And it's because he uses the substitution. All the Naruto clones fade, and Naruto ultimately gets caught. But the difference here is that when he gets caught with the rope, Kakashi does a secondary, like he actually uses some ninja wires. Like, oh well, yeah, you should have seen ninjas to look underneath, see through the session. Look underneath the underneath. And he actually used ninja. I will give you credit, Naruto. You are certainly skilled and a bit different, but that isn't always better. They say the nail that sticks upwards is the one that gets hammered down. But unfortunately, Naruto, I don't think I can deal with you necessarily. So he cuts Naruto, make sure he's upside right or right side up, so he doesn't have blood rushing to his head. But then ties him with ninja wire, not rope. He's like, unfortunately, you're just gonna stay here. Now he also knows that if the other two were to help Naruto, well, he'd be able to get out of there, and that's part of the test. Ultimately, him and Sasuke duke it out, and Sasuke's got his Sharingan activated, and he sees that, and once again, he's actually got to fight it out legitimately and more difficultly. Now, would Kakashi use his Sharingan at any point in this? No, they're still too novice, they're still too green, and even though they are skilled, I don't think he needs to. He's already knocked out Sakura, he's taking care of Naruto, and Sasuke still gets the Earth Jutsu'd. And yeah, ultimately it still ends the same way. Now, Naruto didn't go and try to eat their lunches because he couldn't. So he does have that going for him. But he's still tied to the pole because that's actually part of the test. And ultimately, you get the scene where he explains what Kai is. They're all killed. These are all, this is a memorial stone. The names of my closest friends are buried here. Or engraved here. All right. I'm going to give you one more chance. You'll have 3 hours. Eat now to conserve lunch. Or to conserve energy. But Naruto, you will get none. What? Why? No reason. This time it was like, well, Naruto, it's part of the test. We need to see how someone needs to struggle, and you're the one who's tied to the tree post. But I'll tell you what, if you can get out of that, you can eat your lunch. And so Naruto can't get out of it because he made sure to tie him up pretty well. Ultimately, they feed Naruto. It's like, you broke the rules. I hope you're ready for the consequences. The 3 of you are 1. That's your excuse? Yeah. You pass. You pass. The other groups did everything I said and fell into every trap. They couldn't think of it themselves. So that would basically be the end of that scenario. Naruto still gets tied to the pole. The only thing that would really change in the next coming part would be that the Tora missions are a lot easier because Naruto can just go, got him. Other than that, though, yeah, that's where we're going to leave part 1. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on Wednesday for part 2. I might use a different thumbnail, and let me know which one you would prefer better. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.